there. This is kind of sort of the Oregon coast. This is Medard's Bay. Kind of looks like some scenery you might see in the movie The Goonies. It's a pretty long bay. There's some cliffs around here that they do hang gliding off of. They're pretty tall and pretty steep. Let's go make sure we're actually... Alright, we're having connection issues, but so is life. Let's taste the water here. Yeah, that's definitely ocean water. Alright. Weather's not too bad here today. There's my car right over there. It's pretty rocky, so it's not the easiest to walk on either. I figured while I'm here, I ought to try to check out the ocean. Looks like there's a blue heron over there, but I don't think we'll be able to get close enough. I might though. This might even be the same bird we saw in town earlier. I guess it was about almost a week ago. Let's see if we can zoom in. No, not with all the rain on my phone. A couple of boats out there, but again, they're pretty far out, so it's hard to see them on low resolution. I hear them freezing my Royal Roster flooding and mayonnaise off. That's cool. Medard's Bay Shellfish Preserve. Only had hit that button about 20 times. That's the thing about when it's raining. It deposits rain on the screen of my phone, and then my phone doesn't want to work right. So I gotta press the button on the side to turn off the phone and wipe it off a couple of times so it's dry. And I also might puke, so if that happens, I do apologize. I was able to grab a couple of decent snipes just before the rain started. I don't know how many times I've put myself to sleep, trying to wish my heart to stop. I don't want to be here anymore. I never should have been here. My loved ones are worth it, even if they don't love me. Whether or not I do the right thing isn't based on whether or not they love me. It's based on my sense of right and wrong. A lot of my friends are dead because other friends didn't care. And in Christine Bouchit's case, it was, she was down with the fight until they gave her housing. So those islands over there, yeah, you can actually see them. Oh my God, they are gone. It's foggy out that direction. Kind of reminds me of the Goonies. There's a bunch of people who are dead. I can't bring them back. You can't bring them back. They're dead. You want to forget their stories and try to remember them as perfect. Or at least not to shit on their name, as I've been explained. I've been woman-splained that a couple of times. And man-splained it as well. Well, you know what? I don't go along with your social crap. Because it's complete and total crap. I don't care if you, as a female, want to walk on the outside or the inside when you're walking with me. Anybody this day and age who would just assume that you're for sale is an idiot. Now there's decent rain here today. First one we've had in friggin' forever. It's just been fog. That's all the more moisture those trees are sucking in for the time being. Now it's getting rain. This is also the period of time where you got to worry about the flash floods, because a lot of the ground out here, it's had a lot of time to dry up and to settle in. Any organic matter that might be in the soil is also atrophied and settled in. And then when the rain comes in like this, it starts to saturate just the topsoil. And the reason for this is because any organic matter that's in there starts to expand. So it starts getting wet. And that basically creates a dam all along the topsoil, preventing it from sinking in, or sinking in rapidly. And as a result, the rain flows over the top and you get flash flooding. I guess this is a flash flooding area. They also have tsunami warning signs all over the place up here. Tsunami warning area. This is about 6 miles, I guess, from Tillamook. So I gotta drive back into town. I figured I'd come out here and see it. Take a picture. There's a lighthouse out here that's for sale. It's a lighthouse on an island, and I guess they want $50,000 for it. I don't have that kind of money. Plus, this is one of the most inaccessible islands you can get to that's only 3/4 of a mile off the coast. The surf out there is terrible. Now that's here, being a bay, it's kind of a little misgiving. I mean, you see it looking kind of calm. There's not a bunch of big waves here, large surf or anything like that. You can see that it's not at high tide. This would be a good place to weather a storm, actually. I wouldn't doubt there was more than one fisherman that did so. Come out off the ocean, bring himself up over the sandbar over there. But then again, he'd have to be familiar with the area, and some of it's pretty shallow. That was smart of me. Now my eyeball's on fire. You guys get to hear me being angry on here a lot. I have every reason, every right to be angry. There's a lot of people who were involved, and then once Natalie was dead, they wanted to say they didn't want to get involved. Well, it's too late, motherfucker. You're already involved. And that's the point. Did I try to get help? Was I being bullied? Was I going to the places that I was asked to go to? Have I been going to the places I've been asked to go to, and what does it cost me? My little sister did sort of help me over a few days. It cost a lot of money to get that help, and a lot of time too. My little sister let me know I needed to be worried about her and my niece. I already knew that. I knew that before Natalie was killed. People kept on fucking assaulting me and making fake accounts on emails and shit. And, I just wanted them to stop. But I'm a male, so people wanted me to just take it. No, I'm not just gonna take it. When it gets that severe, something needs to be fucking done about it. If these people are allowed to use the excuse that I'm mentally ill in order to harm me, then I should be allowed the rights of a disabled person. Should I not? If a crime is committed against a mentally ill person, does that make it not a crime? Because here in the United States, as we've seen time and time again, money and mental health are very key factors. If you got no money, you're by yourself, and people can call you mentally ill, everybody in America knows they can take advantage of you, including other people who are called mentally ill, which statistically is going to be the case. There's not a single person in the United States that would not be diagnosed with something in the DSM-5. When I say that people are crazy, what I mean is people are crazy. All of us. Every single one of us. Some people are just crazier than others. Some people think the Goonies is real. It's a movie. It's just a movie. We also got a lot of folks that talk big game, don't follow through. And it doesn't register to them that it's not just my rights that are being trampled, it's their rights as well. These are supposed to be our rights. Why is it that statistically, women are pretty well the only ones allowed to make a fucking report in this situation? A guy gets fucking beat around the bush, and there's officers who will tell you, hey, you're a guy, you're probably not going to win. So, this is coming from police officers, this is coming from lawyers. I went to the people I was supposed to go to. That's something that people didn't want to recognize. And people wanted to be assholes to me and say, oh, you need therapy. I was seeing 3 different therapists. Nicole Peralta, Nicole Gerald, and Jeff Ritter. And people said, hey, you should have gone to your friends. I did. I went to Joanna Taylor Smith. I went to Veronica Bruce, who works for Region 2. I went to Brenda Dickinson. I went to Laura Nelson. And even though me and Maddie Boa weren't friends anymore, the stuff I was being assaulted over is shit that came out of her mouth, specifically to her customers. You guys live in this fantasy world where somehow magically people who are disabled have magical rights that are just afforded to them. Where disabled people aren't cast out onto the streets and then victimized because they're on the streets. There's a lot of stuff that you guys take for granted. For example, your address. For me, the crimes that were committed against me to prevent me from turning in my predators, including law enforcement, also cut me off from my evidence. Cut me off from my resources. Cut me off from having an address. Cut me off from the money that I needed to survive and to take care of myself. And I couldn't do the simplest shit. And people didn't want to understand that I am running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Unless someone helps me, I get nowhere. I am expected to be able to do things that I'm not capable of doing for myself. Expected. Just because a lot of you guys in houses, just because you guys are able to do that stuff and been doing it for years, you know what? There's a lot of us out here that never had a decent credit score. We started off with a bad one. Myself and my older brother are 2 prime examples of that. We got a lot of beautiful coastline here. We got a lot of people who talk nice. We also got a lot of dead bodies here too. Popping up all over the place. People are throwing carcasses into the rivers. It's nasty. Now, we got that island out there, 3/4 of a mile. It's called Tillamook Lighthouse on Tillamook Island, named after Tillamook. Alright, I'm going to repair this one. This is like the best snipe that I got. But it was not in good shape. Apparently somebody broke it. So we'll put a patch over the part that's broke. All right. I got another decent one right here too. Everybody got addictions, don't we? Some people are addicted to people. Some people are addicted to money. Some people are addicted to fantasy. Some people think that because somebody's autistic that it means they grew up in a bubble surrounded by manservants and maidservants, other people washing their laundry. It's cute. It's not realistic. These people used ignorance and fear-mongering in order to get away with committing atrocity after atrocity. Meanwhile, my very same friends who were bitching about this shit happening, they're ignoring it happening to me. I knew who was popular and who wasn't, and who was going to be a pain in the ass to piss off, but god damn it, somebody's got to tell the truth. We're in a war, damn it. We're going to have to offend somebody. This war on the poor is merciless. There is no way for us to catch up and get unhomeless without help, without assistance, and most of that assistance goes to women. A good majority of our money that's supposed to go to resources for the homeless ends up going to female addicts who got messed up on drugs, moved in with a guy who was probably a drug dealer. They got kids, they got busted, and we are pouring resources into them. Pouring resources into them. What kind of a life is that for us? My mom was one of them statistics, and my dad was one of them statistics too. My dad went to prison for 38 counts of cocaine possession with intent to sell. My mom was in and out of rehab. Big difference there. Prison, rehab, which one would you choose? My dad did not have a choice. And my mother got chance after chance after chance. I was locked up in the system for a long time, hearing them tell me every weekend, oh, your mom's going to be here this weekend, your mom's going to be here this weekend. Oh, she'll be here next weekend, she'll be here next weekend.
Your mom's gonna get to pick you up and take you home next weekend. How many times you gonna hear that and not see your mom and be happy about them keeping on telling you that shit over and over again? Meanwhile, the worst for me was the temporary foster care system in Colorado. You only get 2 weeks per foster home, and you don't get to go to the same foster home twice. That's because of attachment issues. Well, eventually they run out of places to put you. I got to go on a tour of some facilities for a while. That was fun. It's kind of like, you guys see that Geraldo shit, the boot camp? Well, it's this scare 'em straight shit. And you go around, you're in the system, you're in a fucking foster home. You're there because your parents are druggies. And they're taking you to all these facilities where you're gonna be abused. And this isn't like on Geraldo where you go and you're, being filmed and everybody there is doing the legal thing because it's on camera and they're making a segment or whatever for Geraldo or some other phony crap. No, this is a residency thing. You're put there. You're put in a cell. You're living with other people who are actually there because they committed heinous crimes. What are you scaring me straight from? What did I do that I needed to be scared straight for? I wasn't the one fucking around with the cocaine. I wasn't the one saying to some kid every 2 weeks, you're going to get to see her this weekend, next weekend. Oh, we're sorry. Oh, time to move to a new foster home. How's that supposed to work? And you go through really bad foster homes and you try to tell on them. You go to the people you're told to tell them. You go to your teachers, you go to the preachers, you go to the cops. No bueno. See, you get a good foster home, you're only there for 2 weeks and you can't go back. If you get a bad foster home, yeah, a lot of people say, well, at least at the bad foster homes, you're gone in 2 weeks. No, not necessarily. You might get put into another foster home that sucks. You might get put into a good one. But the one where you were abused at, you learn not to tell on them anymore. Because nobody's going to listen. Not the preachers, not the cops, nobody. They're a foster family. They're good people. They must be good people to be a foster family. Well, they get government subsidies and government grants. That's a lot more than just the kindness of your heart. And a lot of the foster homes I was in, you knew that you were not one of the family for certain. You sat at a different table, you ate different food. That's because their food is for them, and the food that the government provides through the food bank is for the poor kids in their care. These are primarily poor kids. These aren't rich people's kids that are in foster care. You tell on a few foster homes, and of course you've been to so many. Yeah, not all of them are going to be good. Some of them are going to be bad enough that you do need to turn them in. But you're not going to be heard, and they're going to treat you like you're crying wolf. I fought for a lot of people's rights who never fought for mine, who want to make excuse after excuse. And here's the thing, is that this is a horrible thing to live through. I don't get to see any of these people. Here I'm, all the way to the coast. You know, pretty much everywhere I've been pushed on, move on, move on, move along, move along. Well, except for Hardin, Montana. That place is wonderful. It's not the greatest terrain as far as beauty goes, but there's a lot of beautiful parts of it. It's a lot prettier than Nebraska, for damn sure, at least most parts of Nebraska. But it's sure not Mount Rainier. It's not Puget Sound. It's not Blackberry Country. Oregon's a bit different. The coastline here isn't quite the same as it is in Washington. A lot of it's similar, but just not quite the same. For a lot of the places that I was abused, I can't go back because of the abuse. There's also the fact that I can't take care of myself because of the abuse. That includes physical and financial and, of course, mental abuse as well. See, when you're a homeless person, it's just assumed that you're a junkie. That's the bias. And I get it. There are a lot of addicts out here on the streets, but there's a lot of addicts in houses too. There's more addicts in houses than there is on the streets. And statistically, people in houses are actually more likely to be addicted. There's a lot more sober people on the streets than you might think. A lot of them are homeless because they were victimized by people who were on drugs and were paranoid. Often, especially today. When you lose your friends to methamphetamines, some of them are even still alive, but they're not them anymore. They've become the drug. Of course, you're disabled. You're called mentally ill, so you must be too stupid to know these things. And then, of course, if you try to show the truth, then people get angry with you for that. You can't make everyone happy. That's one of them sayings people want to tell me often. You can't make everyone happy. I'm not trying to make everyone happy. I'm doing my goddamnedest to see to it that the right thing is done. These folks out there on the streets, many of whom kicked me in the head, not literally, but figuratively, through this situation. You know, a lot of them are dead, by the way. And all of them knew this stuff was happening. They know it. They lived through it. When I'm called schizophrenic by the police or delusional, here's the thing, is that there's witnesses to all of my stories. There's evidence from all of my stories that show that they are true. Including, of course, the evidence that I am here at Nettert's Bay. It is way foggier on that end. We can't even see out of the inlet. Those islands, even with my eyesight, I can't see even the faintest hint of them. It's proof. It's evidence. being pushed to the coastline. Where do I go from here? Well, there's pretty much just the open ocean. Let's see if we can find a way to do that. A lot of this stuff you guys think is crazy. It's not crazy, it just takes time. The problem is I don't have the time. By the time any of these services that I go to and fill out all the crap for ever bother to lift a fucking finger about anything that's important, I'm already being victimized and being fucking pushed out of town. No matter where I go. And this is the very same story for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of homeless people just here in Oregon. Or would it be hundreds upon hundreds? It don't matter. You understand the point I'm getting at? You know, in the movie The Goonies, it's a day a lot like this. And a lot of that movie was filmed here in Oregon. I don't know exactly where. There's a lot of people that stop here. So if you hear a lot of traffic like that, that's just somebody who stops to read the signs and then drives on. Up at that sporting goods place, they have these things made out of PVC. Now, I could probably make these things pretty easily. And they sell them for digging up clams or oysters or shellfish or whatever sort they have down here. And I guess they got a few different variety. So, you know, that's something that I probably could do if I had a place to do it. That's something that here in my vehicle, it's all chock full of stuff. If it wasn't, I might be able to use it, but I would have to have a place to park it where I wouldn't get messed with for doing such a thing. And it's just a giant pain in the ass. Anyway, it's Friday, I believe. Let me see, Thursday or Friday? Friday. Yep. There's no food today. I do have some peanut butter and some bread. Fuck. I need to take a shower. Sleeping across the pile in my passenger seat is not comfortable. Sleeping is an impossibility a lot of times, but eventually I get it exhausted and I just pass out. I had to calm myself down a little bit before I made this video because, well, men ain't allowed to get emotional. You get to see the trolls get on here from time to time and they make fun of me for crying and all sorts of other stuff. I need help. I need help showing the truth. And there's a lot of people who, to this day, claim that they're my friends. And I tell them, hey, why won't you call me? Why won't you call me and listen? Why do you just got to keep on texting bullshit after bullshit after bullshit at me? There's a red Ford pickup truck. It sounds like people are arguing in it. I don't hear anything now. Just the vehicle running. I've been out here to the salt water. I have no idea why everything hurts extra today. I suppose I could blame the weather. And I suppose, just in case it starts to actually rain, I should probably get back into town and out of the flood area. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.